One of those big concerns is over the Republican Senate nominee Herschel Walker in Georgia. Over the last several days, news reports have come out about 3 children he fathered, but had not acknowledged publicly. He also continues to face scrutiny over his business dealings, as well as past domestic violence accusations that surfaced before the primary. Walker has denied any criminal wrongdoing. He's also making headlines this morning for comments he made during a recent campaign stop regarding air pollution. The Trump-endorsed Republican spoke to a group of supporters in Hall County, Georgia, over the weekend and presented a unique argument for not enacting clean air laws. Listen.
Since we don't control the air, our good air decided to float over to China, bad air. So when China gets our good air, their bad air got to move. So it moves over to our good air space. And now we got to clean that back up.
You know, Gene, I've seen so many clips of Herschel Walker, Gene, and I just never know what he's saying. I always thought that Donald Trump was just was impossible to interpret when he ever got into policy. But you actually wrote a piece for the Post that's titled, "If Herschel Walker wins in Georgia, America will have lost its mind." And you write in part this: the flashing red lights and blaring sirens are not just about the former football star's myriad of lies and stunning hypocrisy. That kind of stuff doesn't necessarily trouble GOP voters in the least, given their continued devotion to Donald Trump, who counts Walker as a longtime friend. It's Walker's combination of utter ignorance and total confidence, which challenges even that of the president. Mind you, Walker does challenge even Trump's record of dubious achievements on the lies and hypocrisy score. I'm old enough to remember when one secret-loved child was enough to end the political career of John Edwards, who twice was a credible candidate for the Democratic presidential nomination. 3 secret offspring haven't slowed Walker down any more than would-be tacklers did when he was barreling down the field for touchdowns at the University of Georgia. To an alarming degree, even for his senator, Walker seems to believe he knows everything about everything, while his words suggest he knows nothing about anything at all. It truly is stunning. Yeah. And I've seen conservatives actually say that America is in a very, very dire state when, especially the Republican Party, when the party can nominate somebody like this to represent them in the Senate.
It's unbelievable, Joe. It's absolutely unbelievable. This is a major state. This is Georgia, in many ways, ground zero for American politics these days. Look, if Republicans nominate a normal, sensible Republican candidate for Senate, they have a really, really good chance of taking that seat away from Raphael Warnock. But with Herschel Walker, I think they're going to lose that seat. And the reason is that Herschel Walker, scandal after nonsensical rambling about this or that, after questions about his business practices, questions about this, questions about that. And as you said, when he talks, you have no idea what he's talking about. It's worse than Trump. In many ways, he's Trumpier than Trump. And this is the problem for the Republican Party. They are nominating Senate candidates who potentially cannot win. Can Mehmet Oz beat John Fetterman in Pennsylvania? I don't think so. Can J.D. Vance really beat Tim Ryan? J.D. Vance is a novice candidate. I don't think he's got the moves. We'll see. If it's a huge GOP wave in the fall, then that's one thing. But elections are choices, and voters are going to have to make these choices, and they're not going to choose wackos to represent them. Those independents in the middle try to take an honest look at the candidates are going to say we just can't elect this Republican because this is just not a senator, and that's certainly the case in Georgia. And as far as where the Democrats stand right now, I think your analogy of the college basketball team that shoots 14% and is 1 point ahead at halftime is about right. I mean, the Democrats and President Biden have had, crisis followed by catastrophe, followed by calamity, all along to this point, and Biden still beats Trump in head-to-head matchups. If you assume the next 2 years can't get any worse in terms of circumstances, their Democrats are not looking that bad for 24, and they're not looking near as bad as many people thought they would for 22.
So, Elise, on the state of Georgia, Herschel Walker has frustrated, obviously, people like Mitch McConnell and others who believe it should be a layup or a short touchdown run, to put it in Herschel Walker terms, to take the Senate back. But with candidates like some of the ones we're seeing, they know that that may not happen. There's a reason that the National Republican Party is rushing in advisors and aides and debate prep people to get around Herschel Walker, because when he's on a stage outside of a primary next to Senator Warnock, it may not be pretty for him. And it'll be a test, as you know, very well coming from Mississippi, of the power of football and of celebrity in politics. Is that enough to carry Herschel Walker, despite all of his problems, into the United States Senate?
Willie, before we went and did our Morning Joe focus groups in Georgia, I watched pretty much all of Herschel Walker's ads. And watching those ads, you really feel, wow, you're brought back into, his athletic legacy. And for a second, I was just like, oh, wow. And then I remembered, oh, this is Herschel Walker, who has no policy chops whatsoever and has, questionable mental fitness. And then that's what we actually heard from our Republican voters, that they were concerned about Herschel Walker's mental fitness. And they thought that there were a lot of things that were problematic in his background. And this was before the primary. And that kind of doubt is really a blinking red siren. And it's one that certainly Mitch McConnell saw, and there was nothing he could really do about it, because Herschel Walker was Donald Trump's candidate. So you're looking at a Georgia Senate seat that should have gone Republican, that twice it's probably not going to, because of Donald Trump.